everybody. I'm here in the art room by myself while the other Mrs. Wolf is over there getting your paint ready for today. I'm in two places. Isn't that funny? Well, today I'm going to show you how we're going to make our rainbow sculpture. So we talked already about how a sculpture is not flat. So this is thick. It's the same one that you see in your classroom. It's a thick sculpture of a rainbow that we're going to make for our project. We're also going to be learning about color and how we can mix some colors by mixing other colors together. We did that yesterday when we made the drawing of the rainbow. We put the rainbow colors in the right order, and then today we're going to paint them, but we're also going to make some of those colors. So all we're going to need to make all the colors of the rainbow are the three special colors we need that are called primary colors. Hopefully you remember the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So today we're going to use red, yellow, and blue, and we're going to make the secondary colors. But before we do that, we need to make the lines that we're going to use to make the drawing of our rainbow. It is a drawing before we cut it out and glue it and staple it and stuff it. It's going to be a fun project. But first we need to draw the rainbow, and then we're going to paint it. So I'm going to give you a sheet of paper like this one. It already has some little dots on it. I'm going to make the dots black on this one so you can see them better. Can you see it better now? Still kind of small, but you can see them on your paper that you're going to get in a minute. There's going to be little dots at the bottom and at the top to show us where to put the lines to make our rainbow. And a rainbow is made out of curvy lines. It's an arch where it curves up and back down. That's called an arch. So we're going to start on the outside of the paper, way over in the corner, and make a line curve all the way up to the top of the paper, in the middle where it's folded. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You can go from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top and just curve it all the way, not off the board, to the edge of the paper. And that makes the biggest arch, the top of the rainbow. Let me see if you can see that. Maybe I'll move a little bit closer so we can see it better. There it is. Okay, and then we're going to start at the dot at the bottom and curve a line up to the next dot at the top. So it's not the top of the paper, it's the dot that's below that one. And over to the side. So we're just connecting the dots, making a big curvy line go up to the dot and then back down to the bottom, where you're going to find another dot that Miss Wolf has already put on the paper for you. And so I'm curving all these arched curvy lines from one dot up to the next one and down to the last one. Well, some of my arches weren't perfect, but that's fine because I'm going to paint over it, and you might not see the lines when you draw it with a pencil on yours. You're not going to use a Sharpie on yours. I'm just using that so you can see it better on the board. Hopefully you can. Oh yes, you can see it better. So when you draw yours with a pencil and you paint over it, if the line's not perfect, you won't be able to see it anyway. So we've got all of the spaces that we need to put the 6 colors that we're going to put in our rainbow. Now a real rainbow actually has 7 colors. It has the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. It has the 3 secondary colors. Do you remember what those are? The 3 secondary colors are orange, green, and violet. So a rainbow has those 3 secondary colors and the 3 primary colors. That makes 6. 3 plus 3. 6 colors. But there's 7 colors in a rainbow. We're not going to put the 7th color in our rainbow because it's not a primary color or a secondary color. It's a special kind of color called tertiary, which means the 3rd kind of color. It's blue-violet, also called indigo, and it's the color of blue jeans, like I'm wearing here today in the classroom. But we're not going to put the blue jean color in our rainbow just because we're just going to focus on the primary and secondary colors and making the secondary colors. When you get a little bit older, we will make the tertiary colors like blue-violet or the blue jean color. The 4th and 5th graders are making this sculpture, and they have the tertiary colors, like this is red-orange, this is yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet, which is indigo, and red-violet. And they're going to put those on their soft sculpture that they're making this week. But it's a little harder to mix those colors. So we're going to start by just mixing secondary colors, and then when you get a little bit older, we will mix the 3rd type of colors too, called the tertiary colors. So today we're just going to put the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and 3 secondary colors. Do you remember those? Orange, green, and violet. We're going to put those on the rainbow and in the right places too, because they are in certain places. The reason why you see colors in a certain place in a rainbow is because the 2 colors that are next to each other in a rainbow mix together to make the colors in the middle. And that's how we're going to make ours, by mixing colors together and put the color that we mix in between the 2 colors that we use to make it. So we're going to start with the color that's always at the top of the rainbow. Now, if it's a double rainbow, this order would be upside down. But a regular rainbow where we just see one rainbow in the sky always has the color red at the top. If it was a double rainbow where there's 2 rainbows, then the one on the bottom is flipped upside down. So that's kind of tricky. But usually, when we just see one rainbow, we see red at the top. So I'm going to make the top arch, the top section of my rainbow red. And when you get your paint, after you draw your lines, you're going to make yours red at the top. And that's the longest line. It's very long because it stretches taller, higher up. If it was a real rainbow, it would be going higher up in the sky. It's going to take a lot of paint to paint the red on your rainbow. I should have put a paper underneath my painted paper so I didn't paint my board. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of the edges unpainted because I don't want to paint my board. Alright, so you're going to paint the whole red section at the top. The whole first section between the first 2 lines is the red arch in the rainbow. That's one of the primary colors, so it's something that comes naturally from light. It's not made by mixing other colors together in light. It's just a true, bright, bold color that we see in light. Alright, and since we're using the kind of paint that we don't put water in, I'll need to clean my brush, swish, 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 and dry it on a paper towel. You can't see it, but I have it on my table. Okay, and now I'm going to paint the next primary color going down on the rainbow. So after red in the rainbow is orange, but that's not a primary color, so I'm going to skip that one and go down to the next color. Yellow. Is yellow a primary color? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to find the yellow on my plate, and I'm going to skip a space on the rainbow for orange and paint the yellow one. I did go over the line a little bit, but that will be okay, and it's okay if you do it too, because orange is going to mix together with yellow and red. We're going to use yellow when we make orange, so if I went over the line a little bit, that yellow will just get mixed in when I put the orange there, and it will be one of the colors that is in orange, so it won't be a whole different color. Alright, so there's my yellow. Did you leave a space for orange? So when you make yours, you need to make sure you leave a space for orange. And then I'm going to clean the yellow off in my water. Ooh, it made a pretty color. You'll see when you clean yours what color that will make. Now I'm down to my 3rd primary color, blue. But where's blue going to go? It's not going to go right next to yellow. Let's look at the rainbow here. It goes red, orange, which we skipped, yellow, we painted that, green, that's not blue, blue, and then violet. So blue is not next to yellow, it's the next one down. So I'm going to skip another one because that's where the green's going to go. So I'm going to skip a space and then paint a blue space, a blue line, big thick blue line on the rainbow. It's a curvy line because they're arched curves. I'm not sure why a rainbow makes an arch. I'm sure there's a science behind why it makes that shape in the sky when we see a rainbow. And if you'd like to study the science of rainbows, that would be a cool thing to learn about. I'm sure weather people who study the weather, learn a lot about the science of rainbows and clouds. So we'll know what the weather's going to be like. And if that's something you find really interesting, that might be something you might want to do when you grow up. Be a weatherman or a weather lady, weather person. That would be awesome. Alright, so we've got our red, our yellow, and our blue, our primary colors on the rainbow. And there are spaces between them and space under the blue for the other secondary colors. We're going to make those. we're going to make our secondary colors. So we'll need to mix the two primary colors together to make the color that goes between them. So the color orange is between red and yellow. We're going to mix red and yellow together on our plate. So you're just going to mix some red and yellow together right between red and yellow on your plate. When you get a nice orange and you can't see any red or any yellow in it anymore, then you're going to paint that stripe of orange, strip of orange on the rainbow. It's like a big, thick, curvy line all the way around your rainbow. It will take a little while. And I might have your paint ready now, but if I don't, I'm going to take a little while getting that ready because I want to be sure everybody gets the paint they need to make this beautiful sculpture. It's a beautiful painting right now, but when we're finished, we're going to make it into a thick sculpture, which will be so much fun. It's something a little different than just painting because it is not flat. All right, so we got orange between red and yellow because red and yellow made orange. All right, next I'm going to make the color between yellow and blue. So I'm going to mix some yellow with a little bit of blue. Because yellow is very light, you don't need a lot of blue to make this beautiful green. There is the secondary color, green. And I'm going to put green between the two colors I used to make it. So between yellow and blue, in the rainbow is where you would see green. The yellow light mixes with the blue light in a real rainbow in the sky and makes it look like green. So really when we're seeing colors, we're seeing different lights that are mixing together. We see green, orange, violet, they're lights that are mixing together. And there's a lot of other colors that are a mixture of the primary colors, like indigo, the blue jean color, and like brown and black and gray. They're all colors that have mixed a lot together. So I only have one more secondary color to put on my rainbow. It's the one at the bottom of the rainbow. So it's mixed with blue because blue is above it, and it's mixed with the color at the top of the rainbow. So the color at the bottom, blue, mixes with the color at the top. So we got blue and red. And it's probably going to take a little bit more red to make this beautiful color. It should look like grapes, like grape juice or grape jelly. That is the color violet. And we'll put our violet at the bottom of our rainbow, because that is where you see violet on a rainbow. Now sometimes you do see blue violet between blue and violet in a rainbow. Not always, but a lot of times you can see that third tertiary color in there. We're not going to put that on our rainbow today, but if you want to mix the blue and the violet together a little bit right between them, you could create it on your own. You just mix the blue with the violet while they're still wet and you'll get a blue violet. So there are the 6 colors, or 7 if you made indigo, of a rainbow. So after that rainbow dries, then I would cut it out like I cut out the one over here. This one is already cut off the background paper. I just cut on the line around the outside, not all the lines in the middle of the rainbow. We want to be careful we don't cut our rainbow apart, but we're just going to cut around the top and around the bottom of the rainbow. Like I need to cut that one. And once you have those 2 rainbows cut out, because you're going to paint 2 different rainbows, once you have them both cut out, then we will put them together where there's one rainbow on one side and one on the other and make our sculpture. I'll show you how to do that in another video on another day. It's going to be so much fun. Have fun painting.